Hello, I'm Dr. Tom, and I'd like to welcome you to the Friday update for March the 12th, 2021. Today, I would like to discuss with you 5 separate topics. 5 individual topics that I believe you will understand the interconnectivity to all of them in just a moment. The first begins with a question. And that question is one that we receive regularly, and really we have been receiving it with greater frequency over the last couple of weeks. And that is, quite frankly, when will we have live events again in the world of Gen? And my answer to that is really very short, sweet, and very succinct, is as soon as it's humanly possible. I'll give you a little more clarity on that. Number one, as you know, we've been restricted by the size of gathering. It's not that we couldn't have gatherings for 10 people or 8 people or 6 people in different parts of the world. It's the inability to have gatherings in large numbers, hundreds of people. And as you know, some of the world is beginning to open up. In particular, here in the United States, Texas and Florida seem to be taking the lead in those roles. And I will assure you that we are investigating, we are searching, we are seeking information in those states, as well as a couple of others, but primarily in those because they seem to be opening the fastest. And as soon as we can get back to having live events, we will. I would anticipate something happening by this summer. That is our goal. Those are the dates, that the timeline that we're looking at as things begin to open up. And hopefully we'll have an opening for international travelers to come and go in and out of the United States by the time we get there. You know, it's an interesting question because we've learned an awfully lot over the last year in actually expanding our virtual presence, something that people have been able to study the Success Mastery course over a decade. The reality is that we learned that we can do some things virtually. However, virtual meetings do not take the place of human interaction. Once you understand and once you get to one of these meetings, I know so many of you, virtually all of you that have joined in the last year, have had very limited exposure to other Gen members physically, to be in their presence. And I will tell you, it is one of the greatest aspects, one of the greatest attributes of this club is being able to get together in person. We know that studying audios and studying videos and reading books and things that we can do on our own and things that we can do individually build our base and build our foundation. Yet there is nothing like getting together with a group of like-minded Gen members, particularly when we can intermingle with the upper level members and you can see the growth and listen to their stories. You could not make these stories up. They're too grand. You would think, oh, well, that's even too much to exaggerate if you were going to make up a story. Because they are that grand. Because they are true. Because they are real. Because Gen works. Because this club works. The second aspect that I'd like to discuss today is actually about moving back to live events. And speaking of those live events, like the one that we announced last week for Joshua Novi, the event that he's going to put on, that gathering that he will have in Michigan, actually sold out in less than 48 hours. People are ready to get back to live events. People remember the reports and the communications that we received from attendees, their evaluations of what happened at that retreat a year ago. This is what happens. The beauty is to take action, which you obviously did. I will tell you that we will create a waiting list because sometimes things come up. Sometimes circumstances and this thing called life changes. And when that happens and someone may be unable to attend, even at the last minute, we will start right down the waiting list in the order in which we received it until we can make sure that those classes are full. I can assure you, everyone attending that event will be different. The ability to share your dreams and to mastermind with people. The ability for you to understand what holds you back and what blocks you from accomplishing certain things. These are all things that can be accomplished interacting with upper level Gen members. And that's certainly what will happen in Joshua Novey's event. So congratulations to those of you who registered immediately. And if you are still interested, please get on a wait list for that particular event. The third thing that I'd like to talk to you about, of course, is the Successful Life Experience. The class that's going to happen in St. Augustine, Florida, which will be taught by Earlene Vining. And remember, this is bringing back the Earlene Vining and Ed Foreman Successful Life course. And Tom and Emily Ward have taken on that task to be able to share with you how their lives were changed from attending this class decades and decades and decades ago. As I told you last week, I attended that class for the first time in the 80s, and it changed my life. It will change your life as well if you go and if you participate. That particular class, the dates on it are to arrive in St. Augustine on April the 27th. The class will run the 28th, the 29th, and 30th. And again, you can go to the website to be able to register for that particular event. And I'm just going to congratulate you in advance. If you go, you will be very happy that you did. The fourth thing that I wanted to talk to you about was the email response that we received for our email about where to begin to hold, when and where to begin to hold Level 6 trainings and Level 7A and Level 7B trainings. For those of you who are moving in the direction to be eligible for Level 8. The response was unprecedented. As a matter of fact, we were on a call, our team call, the team call that we have every week to discuss your club from every aspect. While we were on that club, there were over 25 responses that came in. You could hear them dinging in the background on a computer and dinging on the background. And finally, someone said, well, what is going on? Well, what's going on is people are responding. You see, there is a happening that's going on inside the world of Gen right now. It is related to a time of year. It's related to a time of pent-up frustration for many people. It's really a time of pent-up activity where there has been a constrictive energy that is shifting now to an expansive type of energy. And that's what you will see. And that's why we're getting these great responses. And that's why we will make sure that we will make available to everyone who intends to get to Level 8 by 2022 that they're capable, because you have to go through Level 6 and then you have to go through Level 7 in 2 different phases to be eligible to attend Level 8. So thank you for your massive and immediate action once again in responding to that email. The fifth topic that I would like to discuss with you today deals with something that happened inside this club which will be remembered as a pivotal moment in my humble opinion. And that's when we had last Sunday, when Heather Purdue and her team put together this member-for-member 8-track course to be able to help members understand what they're being exposed, the potential, the possibilities that occur inside the Success Mastery course, and to be able to build that foundation correctly so that they can spring forward, moving to Level 2 and moving to Level 3 and then to Level 4 and then to Level 5 and then the test and then Level 6 and then Level 7s, A and B. You see, this is what's building. This is what's happening when you build that core that I've talked about. When you build that core, then you just add a little bit of fuel and you see a tremendous fire that burns inside of people. There were almost 200 people that went through that class and did breakout rooms and had interaction last week. These are the things that are possible for you inside this club. These are the things that are possible for you as you move from where you are to where you're going to be, who you're going to become. And these success stories that we'll have, I'm going to ask you to communicate with us. Send us some of your success stories, and we'll share them with the rest of the club, regardless of the level that you're in, regardless of how long you've been in. share those success stories with us so that we can share them with others. Because nothing moves you in the direction of success like others who have moved in the direction of success. Things that are a result of what have happened to you since you joined this club, the Global Information Network. I'll send you out an example next week so that you can put together in a short, concise format the important points to share with others how your life has changed since you heard about the Global Information Network. That's what's coming for you. Those are the 5 exciting points that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you have a spectacular week. I'm Dr. Tom.